Morning, guys. Just getting started here. Need a couple minutes, and then I will begin analysis here. Without fail. All right, so just a couple more things to finish up here. We just had a 20% TGIF retracement right at the open. Got these relative equal highs and these here. So I want to see if we run them. Not really in a rush to take something at open after this morning's run. And at least for the time being, price is more efficient than it has been um in the past like 3 weeks or so. So hoping it stays this way. All right. So let's go ahead and get the opening range gap here set up. Okay. Can't place that perfectly. All right. Let's go back to electronic trading hours. So see what we have for the first presented fair value gap right here. So pretty close to a 30% retracement as well as opening range gap midpoint. But we did run out this buy side liquidity just before opening. These relative equal highs, these relative equal highs, and this swing high here. Um, so we could slow down a little bit before zooming through here. This is interesting because I think we're like pretty close to, yeah, about 50% of that range. So keep my eyes peeled here. Want to see if we come back and use this. This could end up being used as a silver bullet, or we could use it as an inversion fair value gap. So just want to sit a little bit longer on that and wait. It makes sense that price is going to want to go higher right at the open. Um, didn't really see any liquidity down here get taken before that. So I do think it's a possibility we end up coming back down here at some point um, to run out these relative equal lows. We'll go to the 15 and just see if there's anything there. Yeah, so clean relative equal lows down here on the 15. A little messy up here. Yeah, it's pretty messy. I mean, we have these relative equal highs right here around 21,231. Swing high here. The ultimate relatively equal highs I'd be looking for if we were to the market structure kind of shifted this morning and went higher would be these relative equal highs here. They've been sitting here for a few days. We came, I think, like 5 handles away from running this one here. So we got pretty close to that. Looking here, we did come down into this fair value gap before trading up. We're in a precarious spot right now. Like this is very messy here. The market structure did shift from buy side delivery to sell side delivery right here. um, so I don't know. I think I'd be looking for sell side, but we got to see what price gives us here. Just going to a lower time frame here to see if there's anything useful. Yeah, relative equal highs here. Yeah, with this week's price action and not really creating any smooth liquidity in here, it's kind of hard for a longer term read. Um, I don't know. So if price does give us anything that we can actually trust, like if we get price that's different from what we've been seeing all week, we might just have to trade for um, minor liquidity pools. So first 10 minutes of trading is done. Okay, that looks fine. I want to see how big these candles are. I didn't really get to while I was setting things up there. So this one's about 35, 25. This is smaller. Let's see. 28. Okay, so this isn't an order block. This was invalidated. Take a look at the 5 minute here. Hmm. So it looks like we might be in a little bit of price discovery here. We'll see how price actually trades here because it may be price discovery, it may be manipulation. So we got to see if price trades kind of freely here. If it trades freely and it is back and forth, that's just price discovery. But if it starts to slow down and gets like super robotic, that's manipulation and price. So if it's manipulation, not gonna touch it. I mean, if it's time distortion, I guess I won't touch it either. But we'd at least be able to kind of get an idea of where we're going. So let's see if we use this as an inversion fair value gap. See if we close below here. We already closed below the midpoint, so have these relative equal lows down here. What we don't want to see is price like trading below and closing below and then trading above and closing above. If it just keeps doing that, it'll probably be sideways for a while. So this isn't super trustworthy. We see that this candle is like kind of going up here. If I wanted to trust that it's gonna go higher, I'd have wanted to see price trade into it here, the midpoint, close above the midpoint, and then have this one open above the midpoint and just start to trade higher. Um, I think the fact that we traded and closed below the midpoint and then did this is kind of telling us that we may go sideways for a little bit. So this may become an order block. Let's see. I want to see if we respect the midpoint of this here. I might have to drop down contracts. Just because these candles are so large, we're putting on a lot of risk for just one contract. So I'd like to see this trade up just a little bit. I'll take it. Price is a little funky right here, but I'm gonna take it, trusting that this is an order block and we close below here. So I'm not loving that it's super slow. I would have wanted to see this start to trade down more quickly. Um, and if not this candle, I'd like to see the next one start to display slower more quickly. If that doesn't happen, I do think we might just be sideways and I'll get stopped out, but that's what I'm seeing for now. Yeah, it's a little messy. Yeah, it's messy. I think we're gonna get stopped out here. Just want to see if price is sensitive to the midpoint of this. Yeah, price seems a bit sensitive to this midpoint here. Uh, yep. And we're coming up on the 950 macro here. So at 950, we should see price start to move more quickly. I will say this looks more like price discovery than manipulation, but it seems like we don't have a direction decided just yet. I would think lower for longer to target this sell side liquidity, these relative equal lows. But we may be in time distortion until 10 o'clock when that data comes out. So we are kind of front running that right now with this position, which is, I don't know, not my favorite thing to do. But seeing an order block form right here and close below um, this first presented fair value gap, I liked that. So okay, so 950, we'll see price start to move a little more quickly here. Okay, so invalidated, not an order block. Pull that off. So we're gonna be, it looks like sideways for a bit. Um, doesn't look like we just ran any relative equal highs or anything. Yeah. Gonna be sideways. We'll wait till 10. Mhm. Looks like manipulation there. Indeed it is. Just want to see when this first presented fair value gap is from. Monday the 12th. Spent a lot of time there. So a little bit before 10, I'll move over to a lower time frame and look for relative equal highs or lows to be able to determine if we continue lower or not. Okay. Interesting. So if you look at the 1 minute here, you can see that it's just been sideways this whole time, which explains why we got stopped out there. Like there was no sense of direction. Um, I mean, we could have gotten stopped out if we were wrong and it continued running, but it hasn't. Because we're sideways, we've got relative equal highs as well as relative equal lows. The lows look cleaner, so my thought would be at 10 o'clock we run the lows and then start to trade higher. I don't think that really, I would say that doesn't make like the most sense. Just because we've seen this super bearish delivery since this morning. The only thing that really makes me think I can get behind that is the fact that we have these here and these aren't as smooth, on top of the fact that on a higher time frame we've been moving higher for longer. Um, but I don't know. Kind of a hard read with this sideways price action along with what we've seen all week. So I'm gonna leave it here on the 15-second until the data comes out. Like it doesn't, I don't know, this doesn't make a lot of sense to me. We got these relative equal highs here and these relative equal lows. I would have thought that we just continued lower when the data drops, but now we have these right here. So tougher read. Probably gonna have to wait till like 10:15 or so to actually see something we can get behind. And I think it's the new home sales. Yeah, new home sales. Uh, my bad, Dak. I try to respond, but shit's not working. So I was pretty tame. Honestly surprised. Ran these relative equal highs, but didn't do much more than that. Move back up to the one just to see what's happening with this first presented fair value gap. So there's no displacement in any of this. Wow. Yeah, literally no displacement since the first presented fair value gap. Looks like we're getting a little bit of price discovery here. But it's not very fast, it's more robotic, so it does seem closer to manipulation than price discovery. So I'm gonna wait. I want to see if we get any actual displacement here, or if this just comes right back. All right. Okay, so we may have this retrace in the opening range gap midpoint. Still very slow, so I can't say I really trust it. It's just not eager to move. So I would expect this candle to displace higher, take out this swing high. I want to see what we do from there. I would expect it to displace higher rapidly. If it doesn't do that, I think we'll just go sideways for a bit, but that's what I'd like to see here. Seems very much manipulated. We're not really getting anywhere. Okay. Looks like we're gonna have PA similar to the PA that we've been seeing over the past couple weeks. Um, if it continues on like this, I'm probably just gonna close up by like, I don't know, 10, 15, 10, 20. I just don't want to sit through this again and make you guys sit through this. If this is truly going to be efficient price action, this current candle shouldn't need to come below this here, leaving it as an order block. If we are going to move into some efficient price delivery, this one here should start to run more quickly. Again, if that doesn't happen, think just like sideways price action. And if I end up closing stream early, I just want to point out like when prices trading like this, we can't there really aren't like elements of precision, so you can't really trade with tighter stops. Um Pretty much gonna have to trade off of like market structure or something of that sort. But with that comes wider stops, so I don't know. I'd probably just not trade. Yeah, so we can see the market structure here is remaining looking like it's for buy side, but on the 1 minute time frame, there there's no precision in the delivery. So tough to trust any entries here. This here was solid. And this delivery this morning wasn't bad either, but like coming over here last night, not the best. Okay here, fine here. Let's look at yesterday. I don't really care what price is doing right now, so like yesterday, this was also terrible. You can't really take precision entries in this, with the exception of this sell side delivery here. But even then, with this wick, it's pretty high resistance. And that kind of looks like what we're getting right now, so just not ideal. So we just revisited this, I think the upper quadrant before this move higher. Still like super inefficient delivery, so I don't really care. But we did use this, so fair value gaps look like they may be helpful. And we just ran this high, ran to 30% TGIF retracement, which is wild. It's wild that this is 30% retracement considering all of our move came from this morning and it was about 400 handles. Um, I don't know. We ran these highs, so I want to see what we do, see if we use this as a breaker, see if we just needed to run these to get some sort of delivery lower. Again, I would want elements of precision before taking anything, so not really interested. I think this is yesterday's low. I will say the one thing we have going for us today is these are in sync, so no divergence. This is nasty, man. This is god awful PA. And this isn't even just like Fridays. This is just what we've been getting. Looks like it's just gonna get dragged higher. I don't really know when it will when that'll stop. This is such odd delivery. So I want to see if price invalidates this order block, or if we come down and close below this first presented fair value gap. Not really interested in anything until it does one of those two things. But even then, I'd like a little bit more speed in the price delivery. This is pretty nasty here. So I want to see if there's anything else happening today. Hmm. So I'm about to do this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna close this up at 10:30. Not loving this delivery. Hey, hey, it's the mailman, bud. This is gross. Hey, all done. Thanks, buddy. This is wild. All right, it's 10:30. Terrible delivery still. So I think I'm gonna go touch grass. Um, yeah, I would say the only thing you can really trade off of today is market structure. So if it's going higher, it'll probably keep going higher. If it's going lower, it'll keep going lower. Um, but unless we start opening up and moving a little more quickly, you won't really be able to use the signatures and price to trade. So I'd say just trade accordingly. Um, as always, thanks for showing up, guys. Good trades only.